Welcome back, friends. In the last lecture, we discussed about the types of the data model. In this lecture, we will discuss about three schema architecture of a database management system. So three schema architecture in the sense, it speaks about three layers above the database. The top layer is external or view level. It is mentioned by the external schema. And the second layer, the middle layer, is mentioned as conceptual level. It is mentioned as conceptual schema. And the third layer, that is the bottom layer, slightly up to the database, which is having connected with a database approach, that is storage. This is mentioned as internal level and it is maintained by internal schema. It is also called as storage view. So the top layer is external or view level. It is used by the individual user, and the middle layer, the conceptual schema, is used by the common user, and the last layer, bottom layer, it is called as storage view. Now we will see one example in order to describe this three schema architecture and what are all the relationship between these three layers. So you can see the first external schema, that is the top level schema. The individual user will see a bank account in this manner. So it is clearly mentioned what is the account number, what is the branch code, and how much amount is available in that particular account. This is what external schema. So where the individual user can see his or her data. The next thing is conceptual schema. So how the common user will view the conceptual schema. So how to insert a value in a database, how to create a table, how to alter a table, how to update a table. Here, altering the table, updating the table, creating the table in the sense, if you want to relate with this example, here we are seeing the banking example. Here, create table savings account. So creating so it will show the logic for creating an account and to get an account number and to which branch the account should be created and what should be the amount should be credited and what are the balance amount required. Those things are mentioned in the conceptual level, that is common user view, just the logic for creating and updating and deleting. So here the creating is mentioned. All the logical operations will be mentioned in the conceptual schema. The last thing is internal schema, which is a storage view, which is connected with the database. So actually inside the storage of the database, it will be looking in the mnemonic codes. So account number type equal to byte. So in what format the account number will be saved and what will be the starting address and the ending address that is mentioned with the offset and what is the balance amount, and it is also mentioned with the byte, and it will be having the starting address and ending address. So this is what a three schema architecture. From the slide, you can clearly understand what is three schema architecture. The top level, again, I'm summarizing. The top level is external schema, middle layer is conceptual schema, and the last layer is bottom layer is internal schema, which is having interconnected with the database. Okay. So these are the some of the components that is available in the database management system and how these components are related with each other. So the first thing is a DBA staff will be maintaining the DDL statements, data definition language statement. We are going to discuss what is data definition language in the future lectures. He is responsible for DDL statements and privileged commands. The DDL statements will be compiled by the DDL compiler, and after compiling, it will go to the system catalog or data dictionary, which is available in query and transaction execution section. The next user is the casual user. What the casual user will do, he will interact with the database by using queries, and the query will be compiled by the query compiler. So after that, the query will be optimized by the query optimizer, and it will be sent to the runtime database processor. So before sending to the runtime database processor, you can see a connector here. So this connector will be connecting the outputs of query optimizer, privileged commands, and system catalog. So everything. And this application programmers, what they will do, they are responsible for application programs, and it will be pre-compiled. After pre-compiling, during pre-compiling, if there is any error, means it will be go to the previous stage and again it will perform. After successful pre-compiling, it will be going to the DML compiler, the data manipulation language compiler. Then it will send to the compiled transactions. The compiled transaction will be combined with the operation of the casual users as well as the DBA staff, and combinedly it will be given to the runtime database processor. So the entire operation of the runtime database processor will be mentioned with the DBA commands, queries, and transactions. So another one person is there. He is stored data manager. So his responsibility is to interact with the stored database as well as the runtime database processor in order to check so whether there is enough space is available for storing the data and how to retrieve the data. So it speaks about concurrency control, backup, or recovery subsystems. The last user is the parametric user. He will be directly approaching the compiled transactions. So as already mentioned, the compiled transactions will be combined with the application programmers, casual users, and DBA staff, and entirely it is given to the runtime database processor. So this is the entire skeleton of how the components of the database management system interacts among others. I hope you can understand the concept. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the key and non-key attributes of DBMS approach. So these points are taken from the reference of Elmos Sri and Navati, the fundamentals of database systems, 7th edition Pearson Education. Thank you.